This is Dekalb Avenue. Transfer is available to the B and Q trains.
Today's historical station will be Dekalb Junction. This is going to be a longer video, just because of the immense history of the station. Located in Dekalb Avenue in Brooklyn, it is one of the most used stations next to Atlantic Avenue Barclays Center and Flatbush Brooklyn College. Built in 1915, it was originally only meant for the Brighton line, today's Q Local and B Express to Coney Island, Stillwell Avenue. This, however, was not the case decades down the line, as the 4th Avenue line, Broadway line, and part of the 6th Avenue line all go through the station. This extreme load of trains in and out of Brooklyn created the nickname the delay capital. This is also partly due to the absolutely disgusting junction and interlining that happens right before the station, which we'll get to later. But first, a history on this station. Historically, there were many trains that ran through the station, starting with the vintage era. During the 1910s through the 1960s, the BMT standard cars littered the station day in and out. This era was before lettered bullet designations, so lines such as the 4th Avenue Local and Brighton Local served this station. Later on, in the 20s, Brighton Express service was added, which prompted the need for modernization of tracks in the late 50s. During the stainless steel era, times were bustling, and the economy was finally seeing light after the Great Depression. And Dekalb Junction finally saw its first ever letter route designation after the Christie Street connection. The D, Q, and R, as well as the famous double-lettered QJ, RJ, and MJ, as well as the NX experimental train, all ran through this station, mostly on R16s and R32s. This era was one of the most demanding on Dekalb Avenue and the track. Finally, during the new technology era in the 2000s to 2010s, the station became what it is today, the B, Q, and R, stopping while the N and D skipping the station. So let's get on to the next part of the video that explains and tries to resolve the interlining conflict that exists at Dekalb. First of all, I should set the record that Dekalb itself is not the problem. The problem is the amount of vital connections Dekalb must serve in a short, concise manner that it cannot provide safely. Just look at a junction like 36th Street. It is not as complex as Dekalb, but close to it. The tracks look pretty similar. It does not slow down trains and delay schedules, because it gradually interlines together. But Dekalb, on the other hand, suddenly interlines the B, D, N, Q, and R trains. It merges trains from the following locations: the Brighton Beach line, the West End line, the Sea Beach line, the 4th Avenue Local, not to mention the Manhattan Bridge and Montague tunnels. It's just doing too much work for something at the end of the day to be an average 4-line max stop. This should be a pretty easy fix, as technically you can just reroute some lines to skip this stop like the N and D currently does. Maybe we can reroute the Q to skip the stop alongside the N. Who knows? But something that is way more aggressive is to build another tunnel that connects the Montague Tunnel, which is the R line, and connects it directly to the 4th Avenue line via Atlantic Avenue Barclay Center. Another proposal might even be to add a 3rd platform on to Dekalb Avenue, especially for the B line. But these are all heavy proposals that are not feasible with today's current standards and economics. So I would recommend watching one of the videos made by Mythic Transit and the Joint Transit Association on YouTube. They go about a great direction and talk about how to fix this awful interlining. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Downtown, Local 6, Train to Brooklyn Bridge City Hall. Approaching the station, please stand away from the platform edge.